Please subscribe my channel. I can't recall exactly what she was wearing that evening. Maybe it was that light blue blouse she always favored, or maybe just a plain sweatshirt. The details blur when your world starts to splinter. But I do remember her words. The way she said them like they carried no weight at all. "I'm going on a trip with Daniel," she announced, spooning pasta onto her plate, as if she hadn't just detonated a bomb in the middle of our marriage. Daniel, her ex. My fork froze halfway to my mouth. The ticking clock on the wall suddenly became deafening, each tick beating in rhythm with the pounding of my chest. She glanced up, caught my expression and frowned. "What?" I swallowed, throat dry as sand. "Say that again." "You heard me," she said, nudging the noodles around her plate. "It's just a short trip. He asked me to come. We're still friends. I thought you trusted me." Still friends. Those two words cut sharper than a blade. I had always known Daniel lingered in her life like an unfinished chapter, a shadow she never fully banished. But a trip with him? I forced my voice calm, steady, but unyielding. Over my dead body. The words hung there, quiet yet heavy. She blinked, as if genuinely surprised I'd drawn a line. Maybe she expected me to bend as I always did. But that night something in me shifted. The slow unraveling began. We'd been married 6 years. Long enough for routines to set in, for little irritations to fade into the background, for trust to become an unspoken assumption. I loved her. God, I loved her. But love had blinded me. Looking back, the red flags had been waving all along. The late-night texts she insisted were from coworkers. Her sudden fascination with her looks before yoga class. The smile she tried to hide when a message lit up her phone, followed by the quick flick of her thumb locking the screen. I convinced myself it was nothing, that suspicion was poison, that a husband shouldn't cage his wife. I told myself trust was the foundation of marriage. But trust is fragile. One careless act, and it crumbles. When she announced that trip, that was the wrecking ball. "You're overreacting," she argued that night, arms folded tight across her chest. "It's just a trip. We're adults." I leaned back and studied her. The woman I had promised my life to. Was she truly sitting there defending a getaway with her ex? "Why him?" I asked softly. Her gaze flickered away. "Because he understands me. We've stayed close." Understands. The word landed like a blow to the ribs. Wasn't I supposed to be the one who understood her? "Are you sleeping with him?" My tone was calm, but my fingers trembled beneath the table. She hesitated. Just a fraction of a second, but it was there. Then she shook her head. "No. Don't be ridiculous." But her hesitation told me everything. I didn't push that night. Something in me already knew. In the weeks that followed, I began to watch her quietly. She clutched her phone as if it contained state secrets. She stayed late at work, but came home energized, not drained. One night, thinking I was asleep, I heard her whispering into the phone, her voice soft, tender. I started checking the phone bills. There it was, his number, over and over. Daniel. I wanted to confront her, to demand the truth, but some instinct held me back. Instead, I waited, collected what I needed. Because betrayal doesn't just break your heart. It sharpens your mind. The breaking point came one evening. She walked in glowing, radiant, like a woman freshly in love. She tossed her bag onto the couch, twirled once in the kitchen. "What's got you so cheerful?" I asked, my voice colder than I intended. She hesitated, then admitted. "Daniel and I booked the tickets." I let out a short, bitter laugh. "So that's it. You didn't even care what I thought." Her smile withered. "You don't own me. I'm allowed to have friends." "Friends don't book romantic vacations together," I snapped. Her face flushed red. "You're controlling. Jealous. It's pathetic." I stared at her, my chest hollow. Something inside me cracked. "I'm done." Her eyes widened. "What do you mean?" "You want Daniel? Then have him. But you don't get to have me too." That night, I moved into the guest room. She tried to twist the story, calling me paranoid, dramatic, unreasonable. But every word only widened the canyon between us. The next morning, I called a lawyer. She grew desperate. She begged, she cried. She swore nothing physical had happened. But I had seen the truth in her hesitation. in the glow she carried after being with him. She was already gone, long before I said those words. 2 weeks later, my suspicions were confirmed. A mutual friend, someone who had always quietly watched from the sidelines, handed me a manila envelope across a cafe table. Inside were photographs. My wife and Daniel holding hands, kissing, walking into a hotel together. My hands shook as I flipped through them. "I thought you should know," the friend murmured. I only nodded. A storm churned inside me. Rage, sorrow, but also relief. Finally, the truth was undeniable. When I confronted her, she broke down. No more excuses, no more lies. Just sobbing apologies. "It was a mistake," she whispered, clinging to my arm. "I didn't mean for it to happen. I love you." I pulled free. "No. You love the stability I give you. But not me. If you did, you wouldn't have needed him." The divorce was ugly, as divorces always are. She fought for the house, the car, the money. I let the lawyers handle it. Truth be told, I didn't care about the material things. What gutted me was the betrayal. The years wasted. The nights I held her close while she pretended I was enough. The last time I saw her was in the courthouse hallway. She looked smaller, diminished. She tried once more. "Can't we fix this?" I studied her. The woman I had once loved more than life. And I realized the truth. The night she casually announced that trip, our marriage had ended. Everything since then had been nothing but ashes. "No," I said quietly. "We can't." And I walked away. It's been a year now. Sometimes I still wake in the dark, reaching for her out of habit. Sometimes the silence in the kitchen feels unbearable. Betrayal leaves scars that don't fade easily. But I'm healing. Slowly. And when I think back to that night, when she told me she was going away with Daniel, I remember the words I spoke. Calm, steady, unshaken. Over my dead body. And I know now those words weren't just defiance. They were the beginning of my freedom.